Okay, so now that we got this basically finished and ready to go, I'm going to talk about making these parts, and I'll talk about this guy in particular, but because we didn't go over how you actually form these, I want to show you how you do that. There's a part that goes right behind here. That's going to be the first piece to go on towards the back of the airplane. And those are these parts right here. So this part, I just cut out. It is just like any of these others, except it's got this clear part in here. So what I did was I colored the inside to be sort of my interior color. And you can see that there's clear plastic in there. Now I used plastic from a little candy wrapper, and it might not work out. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I'm going to cut it out anyway and vac form the whole canopy. But this is typically one of these pieces. Just imagine it, it's just like this one. It's just a different shape. Okay? So you start off with this. You have these usually that are these little tabs. Is they will focus or not? I can't tell. I guess it won't. These little tabs are going to be cemented to one end, and they're going to provide you with a way to glue the next piece on. And then when this piece rolls around and basically connects kind of like that, has to be a place for these pieces to actually attach. And that's what this little guy is for. Pick it up with tweezers. It's got a little dotted line on them. And can you see it, I wonder? No, it's not working too well. But anyway, this is going to be a little piece that's going to go on. So first off, what you do with these is you prepare them for folding. And so you have to put those little tabs on there. So the first thing we'll do is put that simple blue tab on here. And what I'll do is just very carefully put some glue on one end of this, one side of those little dotted lines. Notice it's already colored light blue because it's going to fit with a light blue area, which is really cool. And I'll just take this piece and line it up. Let me hold this down, hold the tab down a little bit. And this should line up pretty carefully right along like that. And then put a little pressure on it. A little glue seeped out, but that's okay. And that's gonna give me a nice tab there, which will be excellent. The next thing to do is to put that long piece of tab work on this end. So this piece onto this end. Now again, I don't think you can see it too well, but this piece has all these little cutouts on this end, and then a line, and then it shows you that line basically connects, fits right under here. So I will line up this. There's a notch right here, a big notch, and I'll line that up with the center, which is handy because that's the center. This is right where that piece of wing is, or a piece of wing, canopy piece is, and I will glue that just like I did this other piece. So I'll put glue all along this piece, and you want to make sure you get enough on there because this has to be glued on pretty strong because you're going to rely on all the rest of your pieces gluing to this, so you don't want this thing to fall apart. So I'll just go ahead and glue this all the way down. bear with me. Oh, my kitty's back. He seems to enjoy building these things. So to do the same thing, I'll set this down, and I will make sure I'm putting it on the correct side. And I will line up that wide piece right along there. And this thing should fit really pretty well. I shall kind of squish it with the tweezers a little bit all the way around, especially up there where it's going to be kind of questionable. It has to fit just so down there. You'll notice this piece this blue didn't line up, and I'm not sure why. And that's supposed to be, that should be green, I suspect, but we're not going to panic. It will wind up fine back on this end, so. And this is just minor issues. We can definitely fix those. So I'll do what I usually do, which is hold this thing down and sort of crush it with an even pressure with the straight edge. And let that dry a few seconds. Now as that's drying, we got to think about how this is going to go together. And you want to roll it around and glue this tab underneath this one. Oops, underneath this one. Sounds simple. The thing is, you want to pre-bend, make sure the paper itself will sort of roll around almost on its own. So the way to do that is to take something round, like the back of a knife blade, put this thing in your mitts, in your hand, just that, and roll. Roll along here. And you'll notice that this thing starts to form into a little curve. And you just do this a few times until it's formed around. And granted, it's going to be a different shape when you actually put it together, but there you be. Now, all I got to do is line those things up like that. My glue is not dry yet, which is good. I'm going to put a little bit here on that tab and on the edge there. And I will go ahead and just circle this around, and this should match up really nice, which it seems to. Squeeze a little bit. And again, I use my my tweezers, just to give it a little extra squeeze. And that's that. And that looks pretty good down there. I moved a little bit, but it's still gonna be okay, I think. I think you just want to have it so that it's up and nice and tight. Okay, so when that dries, there's one of those pieces. And right now it's not the right shape, it's not the right form. But that doesn't matter, because when it fits on this back piece here, it's going to connect just like this, approximately. And when it does that, that's going to help us. And you can see that this piece will be up at an angle, and it should fit this angle here of the window, of that back rear window. And again, if this rear window looks kind of stupid when I'm done, I won't use it anymore. Anyway, that's how you put one of these pieces together. Very simple, actually. And once this is nice and dry, then it's time to see if there's a bulkhead that goes there. And I'm not sure if there is. Let me look at the directions. there isn't. Well, yeah, there is one, E. So we'll cut out E and we'll show how that goes together. Or I will put the bulkhead in this one. This is the front of the nose. And the only weird thing about this is put together the very same way. It's got those notched piece, that little strap that goes around. It's got the piece inside that holds the pieces together. You can see it on either end. What it has in addition are gun troughs. So these were formed, I don't know if you can see, but down in there, there's a little half circle opening down here. Machine guns are going to go in there. And those troughs were put in, cemented in. You can see tabs here and here where they were glued onto the inside. And all I did was make these have basically a half moon shape in them. They're dished out like in a U shape to be troughs. And I did that by just playing with them and folding them and running my